Europe was Israel's close ally. The European civilians never double-crossed the friendly Israeli society. However, Europe did betray an ally for a terrorist group. How is this even possible? You anti-Semites should listen to this and recognize the fate of betraying a friend. This isn't cool. The way to enable radical Islamic terrorists to conquer the world is by supporting these groups at the expense of betraying Israel. According to the Bible, Europe is going to meet its end. Iran and its terrorist proxies were known as killers who despised everyone, but mainly the Jews. And yet, when Israel took the country, all that the terrorists could do is use their opportunity to claim Gaza as their own land, lying to the world and selling everyone oil and riches while hiding their money and fancy items in Qatar. All this was done for a sole purpose. They all want Israel to be a Muslim country, not Jewish. So this means the common myth of Europeans not being anti-Semitic, it is 100% debunked. Iran used their money, Qatar's money, and Turkey's money, all so they could scheme such a massive plan against the Jews, with a preference to brainwash Thai Christian mainstream. Billions are anti-Semitic, and now they are proving it. The anti-Semitism was less trendy and popular before October 7th, a day which turned truth into lie. The United Nations open a file and point a finger at the victim, which is Israel. So they say in Europe that we started all this madness. But that is another lie made up by European leaders and pro-Palestinian supporters. However, Palestine and Iran are not to blame. Europe is manipulating both sides in order to show the Jews that they want more control over a holy country. Then, Europe hires Hamas to shape a narrative and maintain control on Gaza. In order to take control of a world with no Jewish people, and also keep to their question at the United Nations, Europe had to brainwash its civilian population, who were truly friends, until Europe decided to be a traitor to their own heroic ally. Europe then funded the biggest lie on earth to protect themselves and the UN from being exposed as the biggest enemies to all Jews in the world. They have used the social media, lawmakers and police forces, NATO alliance, best-selling music artists, businesses, and mainly news companies like CNN or France 24, all to cover up their own agenda against the Jews and their rights, including the right to exist. The news fed the public rubbish. And then, massive protests occur as tens of millions of European civilians sympathize with Palestine without looking at their own government and themselves, believing in empathy for terrorists who enjoy killing for Allah, at the cost of betraying their own friends from Israel. People won't admit it, but these anti-Semites all used to love Israel before Hamas have massacred and kidnapped thousands of Israeli Jews. The government of Israel also took interest in serving Europe to keep good ties with them. But what Israelis fail to realize is that Europe is behind Hamas. And they want to keep to the Question of Palestine article, which was meant to brainwash the people of Europe and beyond, that to simply betray Israel and take control of Jerusalem through Muslim terrorist groups. All these years, Europe's government denied again and again when accused of supporting Hamas and other terrorist groups. Since October 7th, the people of Europe joined their side due to social media being popular and reliable. While Europe talks a lot about democracy and freedom of speech, there are two groups that are not able to speak their words. These two societies are the international community of Jews and the civilians of Israel who never got their loved ones back from Gaza after Hamas kidnapped thousands with Europe's support and secret guidance. European leaders used hate as a weapon, proving us that people can turn on their closest buddies when criticizing them is done because of hateful shaming. To make matters worse, Europe funded European and American businesses and universities to teach the youth of the West how to support Palestine by hating Israel as much as Hamas and Hezbollah. Turkey used this situation for their own dictator's benefit. A man planning to destroy all Jews and kill all the Kurds brutally is put into NATO but European allies with no problems at all. Turkey can gather NATO allies to start an attack in which the entire globe of treacherous Europeans and possibly even the US military will attack Israel. Don't expect Europe to be brainwashed by Turkey or anything like that. Europe purposely let Turkey join to protect themselves. The European plan is to justify anti-Semitism and use Islamic agendas. So while the people continue to live happily and hate any Jew surviving, the European governments will take control of what they shall fully call Palestine. In the Bible, this story of Muslims being first was debunked, and the land of Israel was indeed promised by a God who the Europeans forgot. It is said that many Jesus believers were good to the Jews, and therefore they have lived a good life while opening their eyes and feeling close to Jewish friends all over. When the British conquered Israel, only then was this land renamed as Palestine. When the world gave this land to Jews, the place was full of joy and many gifts upon society. But the United Nations and most of the European leaders have opened a new article meant to destroy all Jews. They called that article the Question of Palestine. Palestinian people lived happily in coexistence until, with lots of European and Iranian effort, Hamas was formed by tyrants. And in that moment, Palestine learned revenge more than anything else. Kids are taught to hate Jews from a young age. Now let's jump into the close future, assuming that Iran and its proxies did take control of Israel. While still submitting directly to the Europeans, God is very mad at their own choices, and he has to bring his own legend to a happy ending against traitors. The Propeki says that most, if not all, Europeans will pay a massive price for hating and terrorizing Israel. Many European nations will be sick and tired of this war between Jews and a newfound Muslim world with a new, much more evil way of thinking. They will eradicate many Jews via Holocaust, but as the Messiah comes to warn them, they resist and send all anti-Semitic forces in the globe to reach Israel and invade Jerusalem. God will use the war and the environment to send these European traitors straight to hell. They will all have to suffer a terrible fate because of their own hateful actions towards the chosen ones. Israelis will live happily ever after, as there shall be no more treachery or war. During the apocalypse unleashed upon Europe and Islamic terror, God will use nature in order to destroy Europe and its people entirely. All enemies of Israel, including its haters, will be destroyed by massive tsunami walls of water, earthquakes which are able to consume entire cities, animals who shall turn on European humanity, fire that will consume millions of anti-Semites, and nuclear weapons which countries may or may not use. The only way to avoid this as a European is to remain loyal to those who are on the right side of history, rather than a conspiring government known for its flaws.